Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the morning after with me, your host, Alex Ringler, coming to you live from Goodspeed, or East Haddam, Connecticut. So hence the change of backdrop. It'll be like this for next week, too. For the finale, let's all see who's calling in today. Russ, tell us where you are, who you are, and I don't know, what's the shadiest thing you ever said to somebody?
Ooh, I'm not allowed to repeat that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Russ White. I'm the co-publisher of Q Life magazine, calling in from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Phew. And we're abstaining from the shade. Walter with the
shade. I'm not allowed to say that anymore.
Okay, statute of limitations. I get it.
Yeah.
Walter.
I am the dreaded and feared Walter Kurtz, photographer to the stars, and I'm coming to you from Donkey-Mere, home of the chandelier, and in keeping with last night's episode, I have brought the long knives.
Oh, Lord. They're going to end up in somebody's back. Garrett, next.
Hey, everyone. My name is Garrett. I'm the co-publisher of Q Life magazine, and I'm calling in today from Las Vegas, where I live. And I don't know if it's shady, but sometimes I think like the thing that I say to people when I'm just finally done, and I know it's really mean, but when I say it, I mean it, is you're dead to me. Like, and if you ever hear those words out of my mouth, it's bad. So that's my shade.
I remember because you said that to me a few times. But Michael Barbieri.
Hi, I'm Michael Barbieri, the dining and entertainment writer for Q Life magazine, and I'm calling in from gray, dreary, rainy New York City. And I've never said anything shady to anyone because I'm as sweet as candy.
Ooh, Lord, we're working with some candy over there. And last but not least, so far, Christopher Henry.
Hi, I'm Christopher Henry, and I am an actor, comic, and singer in New York, although today I'm coming to you from Massachusetts. God, the shadiest thing I've said, I say shady things all the time. The most recent thing I think I said was last week. I said something about Alexis Michelle, I know, where we talked about personality getting people very far in the competition, and yeah. So that's the most recent one. If I have to go back through the Rolodex of shade, it's going to take me a long time. So you're welcome.
I know you have to go home and back up your shade every night, otherwise it'll disappear.
Yeah. It's on a hard drive.
Okay, so jumping right in. Oh my goodness! Like we were talking this whole season about it being RuPaul's group therapy race, and the gloves are off and the claws are out in this episode. Apparently, I was not prepared. I was cooking my taco meat as it started, and I was like, "Shit! What?" From the first second, it was just like everything that was happening. Like they first dug in on Alexis being upset about the reading challenge, and by the end of it, RuPaul was like, "But it's a reading challenge. That's what about that do you not understand?" I mean, yeah, it's hard when like the reading is the challenge and something cuts a little deep, and you're like, oh yeah, that is one of my things. But she clocked people too. So, Christopher Henry, what did you think about that?
Well, I think a lot of the reason why we saw people come in so hard is I think they all thought it was RuPaul's therapy race the entire time they were filming. And then they all leave. They all kind of see each other on gigs for months. And then the show airs, and then they see all of the shit that everybody's saying. And I think they were all legitimately taken off guard. So I think by the time they were ready to come together for this reunion, they had things to say.
And a lot of guards were too. They're like, oh shit. And also, I think a thing that played factor, and they touched on this too, was social media. All of the response that like people were doing live on the show, and then people's fans being like, cutthroat against other queens and stuff like that. So I don't know if they were necessarily prepared for that. But do we think like they were right to kind of clock Alexis on her being overly sensitive? Michael?
I think a little bit. I mean, again, if it had been like that the whole time, like constantly in the workroom, then I could see her being a little sensitive. But it was the reading. It was the reading challenge. And as Ru said, that's what that's there for.
That's what it's for, yeah. And so it's like a
comedy challenge. It's a comedy challenge.
It's like a roast. Like you go there, like watch any Comedy Central roast. They dig. They not just about the host either. It's about all of the panelists, and some of the shit they say, I'm like, I can't believe this made it on the air, but all right, cool.
Do you know how many times at a roast I've been called like a combination between an Ewok and a member of the Lollipop Guild? You just have to take it. I mean, it's just a big part of it.
A lighter thing you could say about you. I'm not just kidding.
There's a list. There's a list. I get it.
Russ, what did you think?
The thing about the reading challenge is it's the opportunity for the show because it happens earlier in the season after everybody's gotten to know each other's personalities, but it happens early enough in the season that it's a pressure relief valve. You get to say the shit that you can't say in the workroom or behind their backs. You just put it out there. And it was one of the best episodes, but yeah, Alexis took it too hard.
Yeah. But also that's the thing. It's like you put it out there, it kind of turns the pressure off of it. It relieves some pressure of like, oh, we were kind of all thinking this, you said it, let's laugh about it and move past it. So to get overly sensitive about it seems like, not the best move. But also, okay, then we move on to Charlie and clocking her on her kind of non-existent lip sync. And she had her excuses. She said she was in pain. She broke her rib and all that sort of thing. And what I thought, I forget who said it, but they clocked her on like, well, you were still like walking down the runway in your looks. So how could you not just walk across the stage and do a lip sync as well? Garrett, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think they like said exactly what happened was she just kept making excuses. And I don't know, I think that if she would have just said, you know what, I'm old and guess what, I was tired. And I really was, and that was it. That was just simply it. I gave up. I didn't want to lip sync and I didn't do it. I think she would have gotten so much heat for it, but the excuses were the problem. And it just tended to be that she was like, well, I cracked a rib and then I taped this and I taped that. And everyone just wanted it to stop and just be what it was, which was the truth. Like
it's easier to be open and honest about what things really are than to try and cover up and make excuses. I mean,
well, also at some point, no matter if it's true or not, if you're saying a bunch of things, they just sound like excuses. So at the end of the day, you just have to be like, I did what I could. It obviously didn't work. And I think she was taking responsibility a little bit, but she was also trying to tell her side of the story as well. So, and that's what a reunion is for, too.
Question: the challenge that she got eliminated on, was that the newscaster challenge that they all did? Was
I
it?
think so.
I think from just an outside perspective, from watching it, I think what happened was she had a lot of pride into thinking she was probably going to win that challenge or at least do very well because it's what Charlie Hides does. It's what her YouTube thing is. And then when she wound up in the bottom, I think she did that thing that happens to a lot of people when their pride takes a hit. She just gives up and she's over it and she's like, I just want to go home. But rather than say that, from the get-go, it's, oh, I don't lip sync. Well, you have to lip sync. Oh, I had diarrhea. I had we all do. Like we had 2 hours.
We're all on laxatives. We're getting in. Come on.
Yes.
So, no, that's the thing though. Yeah, your pride takes a hit, but as Rue says, you can't let your inner saboteur win. You have to call upon your higher self. Thank you, Mama Rue. Okay, so obviously everyone's like, you threw the lip sync. It happens. Or just not trying on the lip sync or not giving anything is basically throwing the lip sync, is what they said. Valentina, people were not too kind to her. So what was going on there? They clocked her for both her and her fans on social media, kind of like when she was eliminated, people were not ready for it, clearly. And there was an uprising, but what was great is that it's like, oh, you have this great following, so clearly you're not coming out of this a loser. Like your shows are going to be sold out wherever you go. So what do you think? What were people's main problems with her, and honestly, your main problem with her in this episode? Walter, give us something.
Well, I lost the connection, so I'm back. I know you missed me.
Hi, guy.
Hi. She has. First of all, she has a very great sense of entitlement. It takes a lot of balls to be that young and constantly refer to yourself as a star, like you're Selena, or as April Carrion said, well, maybe Selena Gomez.
That's good.
But no, she's. Did you see her Instagram where she finally came and talked about how people shouldn't say things, and there she was in these big reflector aviator glasses, just like looking up at things, and it's like, she's just a mess. I'm sorry. She's beautiful and all of that, but she's incredibly immature, incredibly entitled, incredibly self-centered, and she's Eve Harrington is what she is. Did that answer the question?
There's a fine line between confidence and a superiority complex, and she's kind of jumped over that line.
Walking the line, if not crossing it. I agree.
Yeah, particularly when you're the bitch who couldn't lip sync, and you're telling everybody you're a star.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things...
it's just the thing is when she left the show, she left on a very, very high, and then with what happened on this episode and her winning Miss Congeniality and everyone being like, no. I kind of agree. It's like she was obviously fan favorite, and that's what they said. As far as like Miss Congeniality, the one who's making everybody feel better, the one who's there to be like, hey girls, let's go, let's do this challenge. I don't think she was that girl.
Well,
so
one of the things that we're learning through the statistics on the voting that's happening on our site is Valentina has a huge following outside of the U.S. The Latin America residents, fans, are just an enormous vocal fan base for her, and that's why I think she was able to win Miss Congeniality, not because it was a congeniality vote, but because she had so many fans just going in and voting.
Just vote. Yeah, so but that's the thing. Fan favorite.
Really was a social media fan favorite.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a U.S. watching the VH1 live fan favorite.
Exactly. So
can I?
What's crazy?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Okay. Well, what I.
RuPaul's Drag Race doesn't air in other countries, and so social media with Facebook Live, people have been able to record their TV screens and play it, and people in other countries are finally starting to be able to watch it for the first time. So I think that it's one of those things that if now that people are a part of it live, watching it in real time in other countries, it's also a huge thing because some of those videos get watched like the live as soon as they never post them, but they get viewed like 500,000 times. They go pretty viral, and I think that's crazy.
Yeah, it's really a phenomenon that hasn't existed before in the season.
Well, that's the other thing about like social media or leaving everything up to social media. It's one thing if they like you, it's another thing if they hate you, and they can actually like really, really take you down. Like even Amy Schumer, she said her last comedy special, it got down to like 1.5 stars and she said it's because people were hate voting. They were voting like people who just didn't like her were going in and voting her 1 star.
No, I saw it. It was just bad.
It was horrible.
It wasn't my favorite either, but.
But it's that vocal voice that social media has, and now that we have these, I mean, look at what we're doing. We are Facebook living own commentary through social media on something that happened last night.
You're recording this?
No, it's live, right? Facebook Live. Anyway, let's move on because there's a lot to cover. So then they went in on Miss Bonina Brown, and then she kind of did her. That's the thing we keep hearing, and the thing we're kind of tired of hearing is like, I just felt like everybody was against me, and it's like, and then Shay finally had to be like, and just tell her, be like,
and she still wanted to stay quiet,
Shay came for people last night. I was loving it.
Did you notice that the top 4 were very like, I felt like their claws were out the most. Like they were dishing out as much as they could. Like Trinity especially like zeroed in on Charlie. Shay was very much on Nina. It was very like, was it because of what has happened and what they've seen and just social media, or what do you think that was?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the social media aspect. I think what last night showed for me, I mean, what I saw happen to Nina is kind of what I expected to happen. It's been the fight we've been seeing throughout the season. But I think we saw a lot of personas revealed, and Valentina was a classic aspect of that. Here's somebody who is very talented for who had been doing drag for a short amount of time, and that's why she's there. But then we see somebody who kind of falls in love with their own TV personality, kind of the way Alyssa kind of did, even though I love Alyssa, but that whole overly articulate pageanty thing Valentina had I saw it last night, and I think we saw that with a lot of people. The most genuine people last night, like the most genuine moments, were between Trinity and Eureka, I felt, which I thought was their banter was so endearing because it was real. It was incredibly real. And I feel like last night I saw half the contestants who knew who they were and just were like, this isn't serious, like we're drag queens in a reality show. And the other half who took themselves too seriously, like Alexis, like Valentina, Nina. And I think that's kind of what we saw. We saw two different classes of queens last night.
But it is walking that fine line of taking yourself seriously enough to promote yourself and you know, be a fan of yourself and that sort of thing, but not so seriously that you're like, I'm the be all end all and all else fails before me. So, but Michael, what did you think of the whole Shane-Nina thing that happened?
Yeah, I mean, the claws were definitely out, but with the 4 finalists, I felt that all of their shade, as it were, all of their criticisms were coming from a place of honesty. They were just trying to set the record straight. Like, no, Valentina, you are good at social media. Shut up. You know, you were checking all of your likes and all of your, you know, so yeah, I think they were trying to set the record straight and be honest.
Do you think that that's the winning key? If all of the top 4 people are the most real and the most honest and the most, maybe that is what people
It's
are.
definitely an element.
And then that's why they're there.
True. Okay, moving on to the moment, the Kris Jenner moment. I thought she was paid generously for that appearance. I don't know. I think they got Kris because they couldn't get Liza. Anybody else? I was like, oh, it's okay. I'm glad they brought a celebrity in, but I wasn't super thrilled about it. Russ, what did you think?
I don't know if they brought her in, or I don't know if it was paid or not. I think it was a nice gesture.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was one of Alexis's finest moments all season.
The Kardashians are all drag queens, so maybe she does have affinity for them.
Seriously.
Kris does have the biggest dick out of all of them. She definitely does.
Oh hell yeah! I don't want to be on the receiving end of that. Anyway, but I'm glad that they came at Alexis for like when it was like, you didn't tell me about this was bad, you should have told me, and they finally brought it to her like, that's not our job. That's not our job. That is your job. And I'm glad there was that moment because it's something she didn't seem to get throughout the whole season. And they even called her on like, okay, well, I asked you if this was good, and they clocked me for it on the runway, so why didn't you say something?
You know what? It's early on in the season. It's help each other out.
Yeah.
By the time you get that far, it's survivor mode, and if it were me, I'd be sabotaging her. I'm like,
or not even sabotaging.
Get out there with that.
Yeah.
High eyebrow arch. Don't come.
Unless you're Bianca Del Rio and you don't have to.
They can go Pocahontas wig. Yes, do it. You
put the arrow, put the bow through your head like a bow in your hair. Instead of hat.
Russ, you a shady bitch. I don't want you to
come on your bad side.
Put me on Drag Queen Survivor race.
Oh my God, what if it's Drag Race on an island next year? Drag Race. I want to see that. Okay, and then we get to the end where we had the congeniality controversy, and then Ru announces that we're going to be like kind of a lip-syncing contest for the crown. That being said, I was like, this could be Peppermint's game. Because we clearly saw like you don't want to be against Peppermint in a lip-syncing challenge. Yeah. Walter, what do you think?
I don't think it's going to amount to a hill of beans.
No.
I think it makes for interesting. Now people got to get out there and lip sync and all of that, but it's not going to fall to that. Ru's going to decide on larger issues, and I don't think it's going to be Peppermint. Even if she blows it away, it's not going to be Peppermint, folks.
Who do you think it's going to be?
Me?
Yeah,
Valentina.
Well, based on last night's thing, the most entertaining of the four was Trinity. Trinity just went there. She was funny. She was sharp. She was quick. Sasha completely went away. Peppermint was fine, and Shay was just a little too aggressive. I thought
she was a little bitchy.
Trinity was great. I thought that may have won her the crown, that particular appearance.
Which is funny, because last week none of us said Trinity as our top, like, at all. So Garrett, who do you think is gonna take it?
I think Peppermint's gonna take it still. I know it'll probably be between Peppermint and Trinity, but I think Peppermint is gonna be the winner. Like I said, she has a great platform. I think that throughout the show showed consistency, and I love her. So that's my thing.
All right, Michael Barbieri, who do you think's gonna take the crown?
Right now, I'm thinking Peppermint. I think a lot of what we were saying before about the whole trans movement, I think that makes a lot of sense. She was kind. I was expecting her to win Congeniality, honestly, because she was she was a mother figure during the show. She and Shay both became very mothering. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking Peppermint.
All right, and Christopher,
who do you? Might be a twist thrown in or something, though. Like, even though Ru said that, I feel like it might be like a just joking moment, because they always do that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, that was a great moment with Katya. It's like one of my favorite moments in Drag Race history. May I have a glass of water? Christopher, who do you think's gonna take it?
I think it's gonna be Shay. I would love Peppermint to win. I think if we're going to judge the entire competition based off of achievement and who will do very well in the lip sync, I think Shay is going to embody those things. I do agree, however, that Trinity did come across really likable and very funny last night. And a person who really came across likable last night that I didn't expect was Farrah. Farrah she was really she didn't take herself too seriously. That GIF moment was funny. Like, take a note, Alexis. Take a note.
So, I was like, that's hilarious. Yeah, I think she got a lot of fans from that performance last night. But the thing, did you see the teaser? Shay's dress for like the final four for next week or whatever kind of looks the most basic, I will say. Russ White, where are we on QLifeMagazine.com for who's going to be the top?
This season, I'm pulling up the page, but I was just pulling up some other stats. 35,000 votes cast on QLife Magazine.
That's more than the actual election, right?
Those are people who voted for Jill Stein.
While that page is loading, I'm going to say I loved Pepper's hair last night. But Trinity was dressed as the winner.
Yeah.
Trinity was dressed as the winner last night. I think she knows, and I think she pulled it all out.
Trin for the win.
Well, Peppermint looks kind of like a drag Miranda Priestley, which I appreciated. So. That. Well, okay, so we're saying Peppermint, we're saying Trinity, there's a Shay in there maybe, and no one's really saying Sasha anymore, and she was a lot of people's favorite after last week. So it's going to be an exciting show. How long is it? Is it like an hour and a half next week, or?
I think it's an hour.
All right. I think
because the New Now Next Awards or whatever that starts at 9. So.
There you go. Well, I'll be watching those too.
And I just realized now why they're doing a lip sync is because they don't have Lucian Pian, whatever the hell his crazy name is, writing those songs for them to perform anymore. So they need some performances.
Well, that's fine. I hated those songs anyway.
Yeah. I love to like to show off, but man, she went a bit crazy.
Yeah, a whole morning after episode on her.
That'd be so fun.
All right, kids.
Wait, Michael, what drink are you drinking?
What do you think?
What?
Your drink. Tell us about it.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. I forgot the drink. And it looks so pretty today. So tell me what it is.
This is made with a lot of rock candy, and it's got a rock candy stir.
Ooh.
It's a watermelon strawberry martini. And the reason See, it's again, like I said, rock candy. So I'm calling it the Rocky Reunion.
Rocky Reunion. Yes, it were. And that's like
Katy Perry video.
There, my goodness.
I'd be calling it "Get Your Rocks Off."
Like, no, this is not like.
I like to Get Your Rocks Off as a sub. I like that, Russ. All right, well, I'll be watching next week with bated breath. I'm sure everyone else will be. Thank you all for joining us on The Morning After.
Alex, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you growing out your beard?
Oh yeah, well, if you happen to be in the Connecticut area, I'm in a little show called Oklahoma. You might have heard of it. Good Feet Opera House is putting it up. We're rehearsing right now. Everyone is really goddamn amazing at what they're doing here, and it's only been the first few days, so I'm really excited to be in it. We open July 13th, so come on in and see it. But that's why I can't do drag next week, because they're making me grow out like this and this, so sorry guys.
You could do Cynthia Lee Fontaine drag.
I could just have a beer.
and your show is directed by an old school friend of mine,
Miss Jen. Yes, she's great. Oh, she's given us so much time to like really dig into the material. I love it. So anyway, come see the show if you can. If not, keep watching The Morning After. We're in talks about talking about other things, and we want to actually hear from you. If there's something you guys would want us to talk about, review a certain show you like, mention it in the comments below. We're taking suggestions, but we got our own plans, but we'll take some suggestions. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching RuPaul's Drag Race. See you next week. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye.